What's up, fellas? In the first video of the day today, we have to talk about Steph. I know I just talked the other day about his MVP stuff, but we have to talk about him as a whole, what he's doing right now for Golden State, what it means for the future of their team. I can't realistically wake up today and make two videos about the NBA and have one of them not be about Steph Curry. He's playing out of his mind. And we have to talk about it in the first video of the day. But really quickly, before we get started, if you enjoy content like this, then consider subscribing. I upload twice a day, every single day on this channel, so it's the most consistent NBA content on YouTube. If you're new here, by the way, what's up? My name is Tucker. You can also leave a like rating on the videos as well, and you can check me out at various socials and a Linktree link down in the description below. With those things said, let's talk about Steph. So I made that MVP video the other day, and a lot of you, not a lot of you, but a good amount of people said in the comment section, why are we talking about Steph as it relates to the MVP? It's clearly Jokic, who, by the way, was incredible yesterday as well. It's clearly Embiid, right, as he comes back and looks to be really, really good. Steph's team simply hasn't won enough games. They're not good enough. And that was kind of the conversation around the whole video, right, was you're not wrong. I was just kind of calling into question if that should be the case, because Steph is certainly having an MVP caliber season while not being in the conversation simply because of the record of his team. And the record of his team has very little to do with what Steph is or is not doing, has more so to do with the roster as a whole, and Steph is certainly helping that roster achieve heights that they never would before. Without Steph, that is probably one of the worst rosters in the league. That was the case I was making there. The case I'm making here is this. Here's the game log for Steph over the last handful of games as we go back in time here, okay? 36 points, 37, 41, 32, 38, 53, 42, 33, 47, and 49 last night. In a handful of those games, Steph has made 8 threes, 10 threes, 11 threes, 11 threes, and 10 threes. You could make the argument that we've never seen anything like this. We've never seen a stretch like this from a player where they're averaging over 40 a game over a handful of games and making as many threes as Steph is on a team that needs him to do it. You know, the Warriors' record is good, but not great during this stretch, despite everything that Steph is doing. Steph is literally putting this team on his back, and I can't recall ever really seeing that out of a guy who's not a fantastic athlete, out of a guy who's not a dominating physical presence. Steph is doing something that arguably we've never seen before. He's leading the league in scoring. I remember I made the video the other day, and I was pointing out to people, I was like, hey, by the way, Steph's averaging 30 points a game. I don't know if anybody noticed. He was at 30.4 then. Now he's at 31.4 just because of how ridiculous his scoring has been over the last handful of games. And this means so many things. One, it's fantastic that we get top-level Steph again. I mean, just think about how magical it was when Steph kind of became the guy, right, in his first MVP season. I remember I was at someone's apartment in college, and we were all watching the Steph Oklahoma City game where he hits the jumper from half court. There's like 20 of us there, and we all just stop and stare at the TV and lose our mind when Steph hits that shot, and just shows us something we'd never seen before in terms of the perimeter scoring, all of the crazy shot making, and how much Steph meant to the league. And because of how last season went, injury stuff with him, the Warriors just not being good, we kind of got deprived of that, and it feels like it's back, and that's such a fantastic thing for fans and for the league, right? And then for the Warriors as a whole, this represents a very, very critical thing, because there was always this possibility moving forward that Golden State was going to have another shot at this whole thing, right? They have an incredible 5-year stretch. Things fall apart last year, but there was always a chance they were going to have another shot, right? Even after the Clay injury, you can look and you can start to see a path towards the Warriors being a top-tier team again. You know what I mean? Wiseman trade, Minnesota pick trade, you know, making just another selection with that Minnesota pick. Draymond still kind of being there, Wiggins, Oubre, whenever Clay comes back, all that stuff. There was clearly a path, but that path always, every single time, revolved around Steph being Steph, like the Steph that we're seeing right now. And it's just nice to know that that's still there. This is a guy that's 32 years old. This is a guy that early on in his career had some ankle injury issues, had a lot of miles on him, was not like a one-and-done college guy. And it's just nice to know that he can still do this, because that means that as much as people didn't love the KD era Warriors and what that meant for basketball, the pre-KD Warriors were incredible to watch. And if we get to see that again, it would be fantastic. And the only way we get to see that again is if Steph is this level of Steph. He is MVP caliber Steph, and he quite simply is right now. Like, I don't think you can deny that Steph is having an MVP caliber season. Now, granted, if you don't want to give him the award, I don't blame you. Again, typically the way we voted on this award is you've got to be like worst case a top 4 seed in your conference. The Warriors are not going to approach that. But as I said in that other video, I think you could make the case that just by the fact that they are as in contention for the postseason as they are, and that Steph is playing as well as he is, should put him in contention for the MVP. But regardless, he's putting this team on his back, and what it means for their future is they still have a chance. They still have a chance to be a title contending team within the next year to 2 years, depending on what they do with this roster, because Steph still has it. You know what I mean? 32 years old, ankle injuries in the past, doesn't matter. And we always kind of thought, right, that if there was ever going to be a guard that was going to age really, really well, it was going to be Steph, right? Because yes, he has crazy quickness in close spaces at times, acceleration, deceleration. But in terms of like your typical athleticism, the way people typically categorize athleticism, that wasn't something that Steph necessarily relied on. He had crazy hand-eye coordination, incredible shot making, quickness on his release, short space quickness at times. But it wasn't like he was a guy that relied necessarily on speed and jumping ability. And he had such an incredible ability to shoot that as long as he kept that, he was going to be able to age well, right? But then we started to kind of call that into question. Last year with some of the injury stuff, is he going to just be getting hurt all the time? Is this the end of the Warriors thing? Even with some of the options they have with this pick moving forward and things like that, where would they eventually end up at? Would Steph potentially be leaving as a free agent? This, not just this stretch, but the whole season that Steph is having is putting all those thoughts to rest. And now I'm at this point where it's just like, I want Klay to come back. I want them to make a move with whether it be Wiseman or to pick a really good player that they can develop along with Wiseman and create a really good Warriors team again, because I miss it. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like the pre KD Warriors, and even, when KD was there, it was still great basketball, but the pre KD Warriors is one of my favorite times to watch basketball, because there was this feeling like they were playing basketball the right way. It was unselfish, and they were incredible, but they weren't necessarily unbeatable, right? They win the title in the first year. They lose a 3-1 lead in the second year. But there was never this feeling like, oh my gosh, it's inevitable the Warriors are going to win, because they kind of came out of nowhere in that first season. And it was more just they're at the peak whatever this car, whatever this vehicle can be, they're at the peak performance of that. And that's how it felt to watch those initial Warriors teams. Was they're about as efficient and about as perfect as this roster can be, about as perfect as this roster can play. Draymond running in transition, them knocking down threes on the perimeter, them just making it work at the 5 spot with a variety of different guys. The Harrison Barnes spot out there providing them the versatility to play up and down spots, the death lineup, all that stuff. It was like, this is as ideal as it gets for this team. And it won them a title. It won them 73 games in the second year. And I truly, truly want that back. It was such a special way to watch basketball, with the movement and the shooting and the space and the unselfishness. And I want that back. And the fact that Steph is playing like this shows that it is possible. And I'm going to stop myself short of saying that Steph should win the MVP this year, because there are realistically a lot of deserving candidates. Giannis is having an incredible statistical season, and if he had not just won 2 MVPs, he would be heavily in the conversation. James Harden, before he missed a good amount of time, was making a case. Luka's having an incredible post-All-Star break stretch here. Embiid, as he's now coming back from injury, has looked incredible. Jokic had 47 last night, and without Jamal Murray, is going to have to continue to put up performances like that to continue to be in the conversation. And so I'm going to stop short of saying Steph has to win MVP as a result of the stretch, but I'm not sure people really understand it, because we get so used to seeing Steph in the headlines all the time, and then they take this year break, and I think we're struggling to kind of catch back up to that, because the Warriors aren't outstanding. We're so used to them being outstanding, and it's kind of disappointing to see them not at the top of the standings in the West. But Steph has been incredible. I will read you the stat line again, just so we're on the same page. Over the last handful of games, right? I'm not skipping any games. These are all consecutive, okay? 36, 37, 41, 32, 38, 53, 42, 33, 47, 49. He has scored at least 42 points in 4 of his last 5 games. He scored an average of 48 points in his last 2 games. And again, 4 of those games, the only game in which he did not make double-digit threes in his last 5, was a game in which he went 4 for 13 from 3 and scored 33 points. The other 4 in his last 5, 10 threes, 11 threes, 11 threes, 10 threes. I don't know how Steph is getting off 18, 16, 19, and 17 threes in a game, by the way. That's kind of ridiculous, but just a Steph appreciation video. There was just no way I could wake up this morning and make 2 whole videos about the NBA and have one of them not be about Steph. He's playing out of his mind. And, you know, they've won 5 of their last 6 as well. And a lot of it's because Steph, you know, he's putting the team on his back. It's not a great roster around him, and I can't wait to see what he does next. And I'm hoping that this team makes the playoffs. It would be so cool to see them push one of these teams like, you know, like the Jazz or like the Suns that don't have a ton of postseason success, and just see what they could do potentially in the first round in the postseason. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the first video of the day, and I thank you guys very much for watching. Once again, my name is Tucker. If you missed any of my previous videos, then be sure to check out the boxes on screen. I'll be talking a little bit later about LaMelo, about him returning from injury, thankfully, his Rookie of the Year stuff, just kind of a whole LaMelo video will be coming out as the second video of the day today. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as I said, you can leave a like rating, check me out at various socials, and the link down in the description below. Check out the boxes on screen for more videos from me as well. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you all next time.